My name is Jason Gong. This is the week 2 assignment for FTT 211 Advanced 1911 Advanced Armors course. My instructor is Mr. Minato, and today is April 9th, 2023. This week's assignment, I will be fully disassembling my 1911, going over some of the parts and how they proceed with the operation of the gun, and then I will be assembling the weapon again and then doing a function check with these with snap caps, and then going over what I should be looking for and how it is operating. The first thing I need to do for this video is show you that my workstation is free of any ammunition, live ammunition, or anything else that could hinder this or make it unsafe. As you can see, the 1911 is empty. There's nothing in the chamber. The magazine is right next to it. It is also empty as well. Continuing on, this is the fully disassembled 1911. All the pieces in the exploded view right here are, you can see. All right, now there were 6, during this process of this assignment, I got to pick out 6 pieces, and then I identify how they work in the operation of firing, and I went with the trigger right here. This is the trigger, and what it works with the firing and non-firing. What you do is just pull the trigger, and it activate the trigger mechanism. The sear, which goes into it, that's another part that I picked, the sear as well. And then what the sear does, so that goes to the hammer. Hammer falls forward, hits the firing pin, fires around. All right. Next one, like I said, was the sear. What this does is when you are loaded, it locks back it stops the weapon from firing if you're not pulling the trigger. So if you pull the trigger, the sear will deactivate. When you let go of the trigger, the sear will reactivate, stopping it from firing. So this goes into firing, not firing. Extractor right here. This right here is what helps extract. This goes into loading and unloading, and it extracts the spent round that you have just shot. Your firing pin. All right, everybody should know what this one is. All right, firing pin and firing pin spring. This does back here inside the slide. Hammer hits this in. Firing pin shoots forward, hits the primer on the round. Round goes down the barrel bushing. Right here, this is what keeps the slide and the barrel into the slide right here. Deals with loading and unloading. This is a recoil spring setup. All right. What this does with the recoil spring, it's involved in the firing, is when you're firing the weapon, this portion, when the slide is going back, this portion will compress on itself and push while it's compressed, while it pushes it forward, going back into the normal operation. It will help help it load another round, go against the barrel bushing, and then fire again, and it'll press, and it'll continue that cycle operation until all rounds are complete. Now we're back to the pistol being assembled. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the camera around, I'm going to do a functions check, and then we're going to go into the cycles of operation. Alright, so do a functions check. Do it. Start it. It's on safe. Now firing. Put it on fire. Alright, 11. Now we're going to go into loading. So I got my snap caps, as you can see here. I only have 5 rounds in here. So what we're doing is we're looking, and I've got it loaded. I'm going to put a round in the chamber, so I'm going to cock the slide back. I'm looking for the round on the top of the magazine. I'm watching it slide up the feed ramp and go into the chamber, which, as you can see, I'm already having issues with this pistol right here, and it's failing to go into battery, or it's having double feeds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the magazine, get rid of that round in there. All right. So now we've seated that round, and as you can see, we've seated that round. All right. So it's loaded, it's chambered. All right. Hammer is back. We're gonna pull the trigger. We're gonna fire. Boom. It went off. Now we're gonna go look for the ejection, extraction, and ejection. There we go. As you can see, snap cap came out. So I'm gonna do that again. Magazine in, loading, chambering, flush, it went into battery, trigger, firing, cocking, firing, extracting, and ejecting. Do it again, round in, chambering, cocking, firing, extraction, ejection, chambering. Unload the weapon, put it on safe. So this, all in all, this was a pretty good build. I learned a lot. I did it a couple times during this week. As you can see, the pistol was lubed up and kind of scratched a little bit. The sear, I have a caveat for that for part one. Is when I was talking about the sear, I grabbed the disconnector instead of the sear. So that was my mistake when I was talking about the disconnector. A few of the other things might have not been part of the functions of it. But I used the random number generator on part one for that, and that's what came up with it. So that's why I explained them and used them. All in all, this was a pretty good week. I learned a lot. I've never had a 1911 before, so this is my first one, and I'm pretty darn excited to start working on this and fixing that failure to feed and double feed issue that we've got right there. So this is the end of my week 2 assignment. Appreciate you watching, and you have a good rest of your day.